customer engagement. But now we are in a new era where AI and machine learning are at the core of digital transformation. They are driving it. And we see that technology is advancing very fast. And the first one is using generative AI to create personalized products and services. So, in concrete terms, this involves using AI to create products and services involving clients and customers. What I notice is that true transformations are not just about technology, because it requires activating multiple levels, from processes to technology to organizational change. So my role is to help companies connect all these dots and drive meaningful impact. In my personal case, beyond the pressure of hitting numbers, sales teaches you resilience and also persuasion. Marketing, it's different because it helps you understand emotion through all these storytelling aspects and also to build a strong product focus.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Youth Mentors and VC's episode again. Grateful to have you here. Thank you for the love, the support, the shares, the comments that you guys are giving us. We're really grateful. Today, on today's episode, we're also going international. Really grateful to God for this favor that we are having conversation from different countries. And it's really exciting because we are really getting to learn so many things. And I believe everyone watch YMVC, they want to do international businesses, just like me and the rest of the young entrepreneurs, So we're really grateful for our guest from Paris today. And I believe we're going to learn a lot, especially about AI. For me, I'm not a computer person or technology person, but we have to flow with the trend and be where we need to be at the right time, at the right moment. So today is my starting point of entering or venturing into the AI industry. So I believe you guys will enjoy. Keep it locked. And before we start, I wanna give a shout out to my sponsors. For more, they deal with plant-based coconut yogurt made in Watamu. For those who are lactose intolerant, this is your plug actually to go and get the yogurt. For those who don't consume dairy, we got a solution for you from Rico Amor. Also, our brand partner called Allo.co. They deal with women fashion. Actually, for these ladies who love luxury brands, this is your way to go. And also, we have a school in Kenya called Rufina School that we support with donations and charity for the children living in the slum areas. So we're gonna put a picture so that you guys, for those who love giving, to go and support the school because we believe giving is receiving. The best part, where we're bringing our guest all the way from Paris. Welcome, Issa, to Youth Mentors and VCs. How are you today?
Hi, Shaq. Thank you very much. I'm doing great. It has been a busy morning, but this afternoon should be quieter and pretty exciting since we're having this conversation today. So thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for agreeing to speak with us today. And maybe I'll just want to ask, what should our guests or viewers expect today?
Well, today I would say that our guests should expect a very uh, informal, let's say, conversation where I express my areas of expertise, my knowledge in very simple words, because simplicity is something that really defines me as a person, but also in my work. So a good and simple conversation.
Okay, that's good. So maybe you can just give us a little bit of introduction because you're a person with so many titles. If I start, I might miss some. So maybe you can just introduce yourself.
Yes, well, I'm Issaad El Khalfi, but you can call me Isa since I know that it can be quite hard to pronounce. I was born in Morocco, but I only spent 7 years there as I had the opportunity to grow up in different countries around the world, such as Italy, Germany, Colombia, Brazil, and now France, where I have been living for 15 years now. So it's quite some time. And this diverse experience has truly shaped the person I am today, open-minded to people, to ideas, to debates. And on the professional side, I'm the founder of New Heights with Isa, a consultancy firm specializing in digital transformation, customer experience, and AI. ISA, we do three different things. The first one is help executive leaders transform their organizations. The second one, we help solution providers position themselves in the market by clarifying their service offerings and define tailored go-to-market strategies. And additionally, we mentor professionals who would like to grow in these areas because I truly enjoy to share knowledge and to giving back to the community.
Okay, so you're Moroccan?
Yes, I am. I am French Moroccan.
So the accent is a French accent, but origin from Morocco, or does Moroccans also speak French?
Moroccan actually are very smart people who speak different languages. In Morocco, we speak Arabic because it's the main language. We also speak French. People also speak English, and in northern Morocco, people can also speak Spanish. So it's quite easy to find polyglot people in Morocco.
Maybe I'd like to know, are Moroccans a French-speaking nation, or it's you who just loves French?
Well, actually, Moroccan people are quite smart people, and they speak Arabic because Arabic is the first language spoken in Morocco. We have also, it's the Darija dialect. There is also another language, which is the Amazigh, that also Moroccan can speak in specific regions in Morocco. As we were a French colony, people also speak French. And in some parts of Morocco, northern ones, like Tangier or Tetuan, people can also speak Spanish. So you can find multiple languages in Morocco, but the main one is Arabic with the Darija.
Okay, amazing. I'm learning. This is why we feel good when you have international guests. So yeah, so maybe we can start with New Heights. What inspired you to start New Heights, and what gap in the market are you aiming to fill?
Great question. First, I want to explain why I created New Heights with Isa, and then we can delve into what we do. Okay, so I founded New Heights with Isa to help businesses navigate complex transformations while putting the customer at the heart. What I notice is that true transformations are not just about technology because it requires activating multiple levers from processes to technology to organizational change. So, my role is to help companies connect all these dots and drive meaningful impact. And actually, what I saw was a gap is that too often transformation projects are approached in silos. What I mean about that is either from a purely strategic standpoint or operational or technical. but rarely all together. But real change does not happen that way. So, what sets New Heights with ISA apart is this ability to bring a holistic vision that bridges strategy and execution, ensuring that every aspect of a project, business, technical, technological, and human, is aligned. So this is where my expertise in digital transformation, AI, and customer experience comes into play, helping companies and different actors to drive meaningful change. So what do we do at New Heights with ISA? In my company, we work with three types of clients. I said earlier, with executive leaders looking to drive transformations within their organizations. So we do this through end-to-end consulting, from project scoping to leading large-scale transformation programs, all the operational side, and also through corporate trainings and ideation workshops. So simply put, by helping their teams enhance their skills and also foster creativity. And we do this based on my own experience, where I have worked with plus 20 large enterprises and multinationals across different industries. So this was for the first. The second type of clients are all solution providers who are aiming to establish their positioning in the market through strategic partnerships, by adapting their service offerings, and by refining their go to market strategies. So basically, choosing the right client, the best fit for them. And lastly, we also work with professionals aiming to grow their careers either in consulting, in digital transformation, customer experience, or AI. And what we do is guide them through mentorship sessions. So I would say that my mission with New Heights with ISA is simple: help companies and actors drive real change without the fluff, without frameworks, without buzzwords. So it's all about simplicity and creating impact.
Wow. So the name New Hates itself, right? So for me, okay, in our country, any name that has hates, we usually consider it as a real estate. Maybe for the first time when I saw it, I was like, okay, so she has a real estate company. So let's see. So where did the name come from? Why New Hates?
Well, actually, it was a long thinking process that I had to go through. But for me, it was New Heights. It's like a new level. Um, I really love traveling, and in traveling, I love mountains. Okay, either taking pictures or going through walks. I don't have the word in English, but and for me, it was behind New Heights with ISA. It's this ability to work with different clients from different backgrounds and to go from one level to another.
Mm, mm,
So this was about New Heights with ISA.
mm. Okay, so it means any client who works with you, they have to go to a new level, whether they like it or not.
Oh, great question. Yes, actually, working with New Heights with ISA is the guarantee to go from one level to another,
Mm,
because we work in a very didactic and pedagogical way. We use simplicity to guide clients going from one level or one step to another. But what is interesting in your question is that to be able to change and to evolve from one situation to another, you have um, to want this change.
mm, mm,
It's like, I will give you an example. If someone wants to quit smoking, it's not because they have someone in their family who asks them to stop smoking that things will happen and they will listen to that person, but the change has to come from this person because there are pain points, like from his health, also from the health of member of his family. So the change has to come from within. And from for organizations, it's the same. So you can have a consultant who tells you, oh, okay, your clients are not satisfied with your service or your product. But if the company is not convinced and does not want to drive this change, it will not happen.
Okay, yeah. So it also has to come from the client. That's a good point.
Also,
So
yes.
maybe, yeah. So you've had a really, really, yeah, diverse career in entrepreneurship, sales, marketing, and now consulting, yeah. So what key lessons have you learned from transitioning between all these fields?
A lot of things. One thing for sure I have learned is that skills are fluid. Okay. What you develop in one field can be a powerful asset in another, whether it's entrepreneurship, sales, marketing, or consulting. At the end of the day, it's about three things: solving problems, listening or understanding customers, and creating value. In my personal case, beyond the pressure of hitting numbers, sales teaches you resilience and also persuasion. Marketing, it's different because it helps you understand emotion through all these storytelling aspects and also to build a strong product focus. And consulting, that is my field today, brings you structure and strategy applied across multiple areas. And in my case, as I previously stated, it's customer experience, digital transformation, and AI. And what I find most interesting in entrepreneurship, and it's funny because it was where I first started my career and is now my field again, uh, is that it taught me to be resourceful, to make decisions with very limited information, and also to take full ownership of outcomes. And now that entrepreneurship is my field, I act as an entrepreneur in consulting. I see how all these skills come together from different jobs that I had. So the structure, the problem solving, the ability to navigate uncertainty, the capacity to execute strategies, and also the ability to sell concrete ideas. So my key takeaway would be, don't underestimate your previous jobs or experiences because every past experience enriches the next one, even if they seem unrelated at first.
So which one has been the easiest field and which one has been the hardest field?
I would say the easiest would be marketing, with the fact of understanding emotions through storytelling. I'm quite a natural empathetic person, so it is something that comes to me quite naturally. So to evolve in the marketing field, also the fact of putting yourself in someone else's shoes, it's something that comes to me easily and helps me until today in my work in consulting. And we will speak about that on customer centricity. The hardest one, um, well, entrepreneurship actually, because uh, we read a lot of articles, okay, and a lot of brilliant entrepreneurs speak about this journey. It's a lonely journey, like it teaches you how to surround yourself with your best people. This is the first thing. And also the fact of navigating uncertainty. Actually, in my like personal background, since I have lived in different countries, I was used to switching from one country to another, having this challenge of learning a new language, to adapting to a new mindset, a new way of doing things. So it was natural. But I think that when you transfer this in the professional side, it's more difficult. When I used to be in the corporate world, everything was guaranteed. What I mean by that is you work, at the end of the month, you get your paycheck, whether your job was good or mediocre. Okay. But when you
Mm.
are an entrepreneur, you have to put a lot of effort and energy, and you don't always have the results that you expect.
Mm.
So it can be quite a challenging journey, but it's also a very exciting journey, because you gain self-confidence actually. Because when you work on something
Mm.
and then you see the results, it's quite rewarding
Mm.
and you gain self-confidence from it. And I also receive a lot of support from family, from friends, who are always there, like um, giving positive feedback on things that you do. So it builds your self confidence for sure. But it's not an easy journey. I think that you can also confirm
The
that.
lonely part, I agree with you. It can be so lonely when it comes to entrepreneurship. But you mentioned two things that I'm also interested to know. You know, you've said you're an empathetic person, but with business and also consulting, the other name that you mentioned among the two, have you found those tough clients that test your empathetic side? You know, they just want to get on your nerves, and you're like, I have to uh, breathe and calm down, because now I'm an entrepreneur, I'm the CEO, I'm the boss, I have to handle everyone with empathy. Have you found those ones that the empathy is not coming?
Uh, Excellent question. Well, for sure, in my career, I have had difficult clients. Okay. I would be lying if I told you if in my career all clients, all projects were great and very easy. Otherwise, consulting would not be consulting. But actually, if those clients were difficult, it was not about a lack of empathy or a problem of empathy. I can give you an example. I often notice that when a client is difficult during a project, it's because they do not understand the purpose of what you are doing, either because you are suggesting a very complex methodology full of buzzwords and your approach is not concrete enough. So the client tends to be difficult, but this is where I use my empathy to actually listen to the client and identify that if he is difficult or maybe rude to my team, it's because the approach that we suggested as a company firm was not adapted, was not concrete enough. So I think that the empathy, you have to use it to actually listen to your customer,
Right.
to identify what is his pain point and adapt your approach later on.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good advice, because so many CEOs handle it in a different way. If the client goes up, the CEO also goes up.
Uh, yeah, but you cannot solve everything with that approach.
Mm.
So
Mm. Different ways of handling it. Yeah, that's the
mm,
best approach, the one you've advised. So let's speak about customer experience here and digital transformation. With your focus on customer experience, what do you think most businesses get wrong about truly understanding their customers?
there are many mistakes companies make when trying to understand their customers. But from the top of my mind, I can think of two main reasons. First is that many businesses get caught up in collecting data without really listening to their customers. While data can be helpful, we all know that, it often misses the human side of the story. Let me explain. I am a company and I get a customer satisfaction score of 2 out of 10. For sure, it shows that the customer was not happy, right? But it doesn't tell me why the customer felt that way. So, without taking the time to talk to your customers, businesses miss this chance to really understand what's behind their frustration or their satisfaction. So don't focus too much on metrics. Sit down with your customers, listen to them, use this empathy. And the second one, the second mistake, I would say, is overcomplicating things with technology. A lot of companies think that just adding the latest tech, like a new app, a new chatbot, a new AI tool, that this will magically and automatically improve customer experience. But that's not the case. Why? Because the best transformations don't focus on the newest tools. They focus on putting the right technology for the right client profile and the right issue. Let me give you an example to illustrate this idea. I am a company. If I were to invest in an AI tool for proactive support, so for my customer service, but my customers are seniors and they prefer human interaction, or their issues are too complex to solve for a chatbot, the result will be frustrated customers and therefore a bad experience. So the key point here is that to truly understand your customers, you need to listen to them. And then afterwards, you decide how, through which tools or which technologies you can make their experience better.
Mm, okay. So it's a calculated way to handle different customers. So what I'm getting is that not so many people factor in what the client wants so that they can handle it as the way the client wants as compared to their own knowledge, right?
Excuse me, can you repeat?
Oh, yeah, I'm saying the approach of handling different clients is different because most of the businesses want to handle their clients the way they want as compared to what the client wants, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But there is also this thing of wanting to use the latest trends just because
Mm,
it's trendy, because it's sexy, like everyone speaks about AI tools. So they want to apply this in their business. They are not
mm,
customer centric. And they think that just because you put the latest technology, it will work. And
mm,
also, what you said, I do agree. Sometimes we project what we really want or what we really need, but the client doesn't need it. And the
mm,
example of seniors is quite eloquent because as a young generation, we are quite digital natives. So for us, it's very easy to go to a chatbot, ask our questions, and have the answer. We can act accordingly. But for more senior clients, they are not digital natives. So we have to
mm,
adapt also to this, to their experience and pain point.
mm.
So there are the two arguments actually.
Yeah. Okay. So how does digital transformation evolve in the past few years, and what trends should businesses pay attention to in 2025?
This is a large question and it's twofold. So let me please start with the first idea.
Yes.
For sure, what I have learned and seen is that every professional has his own definition of digital transformation. To me, digital transformation is about integrating digital technologies in all aspects of a company. Okay? It's not just about new technologies, adopting new technologies. It's deeper than that because it implies rethinking processes and operations to serve both customer experience and operational efficiency. So, with that said, I think that digital transformation has evolved in three different stages. Okay. The first one was when businesses focused on automating basic processes and digitizing operations through tools like ERPs or CRMs. Then we had a second step where businesses started using data to enhance decision making and to foster customer engagement. But now we are in a new era where AI and machine learning are at the core of digital transformation. They are driving it. And we see that technology is advancing very fast. And I think that we will see various differences impacting different industries and different areas. So, to answer the second part of your questions about the trends that we should watch out for in 2025 onwards, I would state two of them. The first one is using generative AI to create personalized products and services. So, in concrete terms, this involves using AI to create products and services involving clients and customers. So, you have this example of Lego, where they allow their customers to co-create their own Legos, their own products, by using platforms like ChatGPT or DALI. And it's a very smart decision and very smart way to involve your customers and make them co-creator of their own products, because it gives them a new level of personalization. And what is interesting is that this trend can be used and transferable in different industries, and it will become a differentiator for companies. This can be applied in retail, okay? And Nike has done it. What I mean by that is Nike has taken a set of data, large volumes of data on customers, like their favorite color, the size of their running shoes, their biometric data like their sex, females, males, etc. And with this information, they have analyzed them real time, and they could predict future products. And that is how they were able to create another running shoes, okay, that they put in the market. So this is an application in the retail industry. If I come back to the agricultural sector, I was explaining that actually it can be quite costly to implement that, because if you want to predict the crops that you can make and the yields, actually you need to invest in different infrastructures, because these infrastructures will enable you to collect different types of data for you to predict the yields that you could have in 1 month, 1 year, etc. And this type of data, it can be related to the weather, to the luminosity.
Okay, yeah. I think when people put their efforts in research, it can also help them to integrate, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Maybe now, can you share a real world example, where you helped a company improve its customer-centric approach using technology?
Yes, sure. Well, since it's a quite long and complex project, what I suggest is explaining it in 3 different parts. First, I will share some context elements. Then I will tell you how I went about it. And then I will share some of the results we have achieved. So for the
Okay.
context, I was approached by an AI-powered technology firm. They had a voice recognition that they sold both to B2C and B2B companies. They had an ambition. They wanted to grow in the automotive sector, focusing on B2B companies like Volkswagen, Renault, or Citroën. And their objective was simple: help professional drivers make a better use of their time on the road. Because, as you know, professional drivers, like in the B2B sector, like salesperson, they spend a lot of time on the road driving. Okay, so they wanted to make a better use of their time. Whether that meant getting real-time information, improving safety, or delegating tasks. So I will give a couple of examples later on. My role in this project was to identify the best use cases, to design a smooth in-car experience, so the journey, and ensure an easy integration into these fleet vehicles, since we are speaking about B2B. Okay, so this is about the context. If I move on to the approach, to make this happen, we took a three-step approach. The first one, and it was key because it answers directly your question about customer centricity, is that we conducted interviews with fleet drivers in order to collect their challenges, their pain points, and their needs. Okay? So from there, we identified what we call the use cases. In simple words, we identified the most useful ways voice recognition could help them. So here are the examples. The first one was task delegation. Here, you had the driver who could ask the voice assistant, please schedule a meeting for next Tuesday at 10 a.m. with Mr. Smith. The second use case we had was safety enhancements by sending alerts. For instance, the driver here would receive an automatic voice notification like, oh, your tire pressure is low. Would you like me to drive you to the nearest service station? So this was the first step, speaking actually to our clients, our targets, to collect the needs that are called use cases. Next, the second phase, once all the use cases were identified and prioritized, because we could not take all of them, there is a reality in companies where budgets are limited, but we also prioritized based on the value for the client. So this is the prioritization part. Okay, so we had to design a voice assistant that felt natural and intuitive because it was going to be used by humans. So in this part, we worked with UX designers and linguists to make sure that this solution matched with natural speech. And then in the third phase, we did work with engineers working across different vehicle brands, Renault, Citroën, Volkswagen, and we conducted real interviews with real drivers, so user tests, to see if what we had developed in terms of this solution actually matched the expectations. And also working with these engineers was for us the opportunity to see how this new voice recognition solution could match what was already existing in the car system.
It must have been a very hard task.
Yes, actually, it was a quite difficult project, but also quite beneficial for at different levels, because for this AI-powered audio mobility company, it was for them the opportunity to position themselves as leaders in the market of fleet mobility. because this solution did not exist before. And also for the drivers, you were speaking about customer centricity. For drivers, it enables them to boost efficiency because, as I said, it made their work easier, smoother, and more efficient so they could keep their eyes on the road while driving. And also, it was the opportunity to ensure a seamless industry integration because we had developed a solution that could be used by different vehicle brands, so it was easier to scale afterwards.
So, two questions. I have two questions. First of all, this intelligence, this whole AI intelligence, at times, I think I haven't gotten to a point where I understand it well because it's something, till today, I feel like it's something outside this world because it gives you information that you want. Like it knows everything about this world. And let me give you an example.
Uh-huh.
I asked it to make a meme about something. So there's usually a very funny market in our country that it even included in that meme. And now my question is, whoever was coming up with this technology, what did he have in mind? Because it literally feeds you anything you want. Let's speak about maybe ChatGTP, right? It feeds you anything that you want. You know, the ideas, and then there are things that are way above ideas because AI is something I don't think if it's I think it's just God doing it, operating it. It seems that is something it's way beyond human knowledge. Where do you think this AI came from?
Well, actually, AI, it was built by human beings. Because if we speak very in simple words, we have the human being has injected a large amount of information and data that has been processed by this AI machine learning so that when a person like you or myself use ChatGPT through what we call a prompt, we have an answer. But the system has been trained to give us this information. And to be more precise, actually, when we first started using ChatGPT months ago, since they had stopped training the system in a specific year, when you asked him a precise question for that the answer was in the following year, you had the wrong answer. So that's why afterwards, when you use ChatGPT, you have to activate through the extension with Google. And once you prompt ChatGPT, you can have more updated information. But what I want to say is that if ChatGPT is powerful, it's because the human being gave him this power. So to be honest, I don't understand nor agree when people say that one day AI will replace them. But this is another debate.
So it is not possible for AI to replace human.
Well, AI will replace some jobs, and there are serious studies stating that the OCDE, for instance, like postal jobs, will be all suppressed. They won't exist anymore. But for me, those are jobs that can be automated easily, where you can free time for these people so that they do more high value jobs.
Okay, that makes sense. Actually, it isn't some work that before AI came, it could take a lot of time. It has really smoothened so many operations and work, which is a good thing.
Yes.
But let's speak about small businesses and the
Mm-hmm.
fear of adoption of AI due to the cost and its complexity. Me being
Mm.
number one, I'm telling them like,
Yes.
do I have the
Mm.
budget? How can they integrate AI effectively without
Mm.
breaking the bank?
Well, this is an excellent question, and I get asked that a lot. Um, mm. Um, well, firstly, AI adoption does not have to be complicated or expensive. For me, the key for small businesses is to start simple, to use existing tools, and to focus on high impact use cases. Let me explain with simple words.
Mm.
First, leverage AI that's already built into the tools you use. You don't need a big budget and you don't need a team of data scientists since everyday platforms that we use today already come with AI powered features. So, for example, you run a small e commerce shop. What you have to do is to use Shopify and its AI driven product recommendation to help boost your sales and generate revenue. Okay, because it will already suggest relevant items based on customer behavior. So, what does that mean? It means that you can generate more revenue without any extra effort. So, this will be my first recommendation. Uh, then I spoke about use cases. So, the second recommendation would be this one: focus on uh, AI use cases that directly improve efficiency and revenue. And I will give a very concrete example. If you run a small dental clinic, you are alone, you don't have any assistants, okay?
Mm.
And you struggle with managing appointments manually. What can you do? You will not shut your business, okay? So you can integrate an AI powered scheduling assistant, just like Calendly or Doctolib, okay? And with
Mm.
this system, you can automatically handle your bookings, you can send reminders to your patients, and you can reduce no shows. And this will free up time for you to focus on your patients. So
Mm.
these are two examples, and there are many of them that show that any business can actually use AI to create value for their customers while improving their efficiency without breaking the bank.
Yeah, I believe now people won't worry, including me.
Uh-huh.
I thought I have to go and reinvent the wheel again with new
No.
teams, new systems, but we can just work with what we have, right?
Yes, yes, with what we have. Exactly. Exactly. And this makes me think actually where you have what we call no code solutions. And no
Mm.
code solutions are platforms that use simple and user friendly interfaces. And actually, you are a business owner. I am a business owner. And in our daily life, we can struggle with managing our finances, okay, for our business.
Mm.
So here you can use a no-code tool. You have this example of QuickBooks, and QuickBooks it's a platform that can help you handle your expenses, to monitor them. It can generate financial reports for you. It can flag potential cash flows issues that you might have, and this without hiring an accountant. So, as you
Mm.
said, you don't need to reinvent the wheel for you to be more efficient in the job that you do. I
Mm.
mean, as a small
So,
business, because you have the required
mm.
agility to buy a tool. If you don't like it, you change it. If you like it, you adapt it to your business needs. But when you are a big company, a multinational, it's a different speech.
Yeah. For multinational, they have to find budget.
Yes, budget, it's a matter. Yes.
Yeah. Let me ask you, AI, we've come to know it recently, some few months ago, some few years ago. You have very deep information about AI. Do you have to go to school for this? Do you have to go learn about it? Or you just passionate about technology? Where do you gather all this information? I wish I could have just a quarter percentage of your information with me.
Oh, thank you. You're so kind.
Yeah.
Well, where do I get information? Um, okay, I'm a quite a learning by doing type of person. For me, the
Mm,
best way to learn something is through a project. Okay.
mm, mm,
Uh, I tend to learn things quite fast,
mm,
thank God. So when I work in a project, it's for me the best opportunity to learn about a topic because you get real customer pain points and you have the reality of the business, things that
mm,
you do not really find when reading uh, theoretical books. Okay.
mm. Yeah.
But it's also very important as a professional when you master an expertise or a topic to keep yourself updated. So, how do you keep yourself updated? Is speaking to other professionals in your areas of expertise. It's also keeping yourself informed through reading articles and books that are relevant in these areas. And
Mhm,
also, there is also the example of certifications that it can be a match of two things where you have all these theory aspects. So you read the different content material, and then you can have this more practical side. So for me,
mm,
uh, it's driven by different type of things. It's
mm,
not just one or another, and curiosity, because it's like change. If you do not want to change, you
mm,
will not see change. So if you want to improve or gain insight from a topic, you
mm,
also have to have some curiosity regarding this topic.
mm. But they usually say curiosity killed the cat. Who came up with that quote? Anyway, let's speak about consulting, yeah, as we come to a wind up. You've worked with over 20 companies. What are some of the common challenges they face when trying to transform their businesses?
um, well, I have worked, yes, with different companies, as I mentioned, large enterprises and also multinationals, like in retail, luxury, energy, or banking. And I have seen different common mistakes that can derail a transformation. Uh, the first one, and the most common one, is jumping into execution without defining a clear strategy.
Mm,
Many business, from what I have noticed, rush into large-scale transformation projects or programs without taking the time to define a clear vision, clear objectives, clear outcomes, or even aligning key stakeholders. So they feel like by going quickly, they will gain some time. But companies, when they proceed like this, they quickly hit a wall. The first one is that progress stalls. The second is that budgets skyrocket, so they end up losing a lot of money. And the third one is that teams lose direction, so everybody is confused. So to avoid this scenario, I always recommend my clients and also prospects to take the time to properly frame the transformation upfront and then jump into the execution. First, know your why, define your how, and then execute. So this would be the most common one that I have noticed. The other one is focusing too much on internal efficiency, costs, obsession, and not enough on the customer experience. So a lack of customer centricity. I had a client who brought me in because his metrics on customer experience, for example, customer satisfaction, were dropping, and they couldn't understand why. So after diving in, we found the issue. They had automated large parts of their customer service to improve efficiency, replacing all human agents with chatbots. While this cut costs, and they were very proud about it, this strategy had a very bad impact on customer experience. Why? Because the customer, when he had an issue, he was stuck in endless loops trying to reach a real person to solve their issue.
Wow. That's a big, it sounds like a confusion.
Yes. It's often thinking about processes, cost efficiency, operational efficiency, but forgetting the client. What does the client want? Is it beneficial for the client? And at the end, as a company, you end up losing a lot of money. The money to implement your chatbot, the money to frame the implementation of your chatbot, and then you have to pay money to design new user journeys or customer experience journeys to define the right strategy to match your client's expectations.
Wow. Is there something like, I think I might call it risk management before all that happens? I don't know if it's the business that needs to provide that, or is the client that's supposed to ask about before that type of project happens if there's a risk management guarantee before challenging situations like those ones happen?
That's really an excellent question. And actually, this is, I would say, the difference between a great consultant and another consultant. And this is also something that sets apart New Heights with Isa, is that besides simplicity, I think that we should have also a part of honesty. What I mean by that is when I am approached by a client, he often the client doesn't really know exactly, like in consulting words, what he wants. But often the need is, oh, I want to implement this CRM solution. And a lot of consulting firms, they take this need like that, and then they make what we call this business proposal with the team, with the approach, with the context and the pricing, and they start the project. Why? Because actually you get paid as a company. But why I introduce honesty, it's before diving in this project, you need to do this, what you say, risk thing. But risk analysis, it's like asking the questions to the client. Why would you like to do this? You have this 5 whys. Like to have the real answer, you need to question someone 5 times. Use why 5 times to have the real answer. So what I want to say about that is, before taking in a project, ask the client what's the real need. And once you have identified this need, don't be afraid to tell your clients that what he thinks is required, it's not the right solution for him. This is what I talk about honesty, but some people can have another word for it, integrity, honesty. I don't know, but for me, it's very important.
Transparency.
Uh,
Transparency.
Transparency also, yes. Don't
Wow.
just take a project because it makes you money. At the end of the day, you are here to foster long-term relationships, and well,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
my
Just
way of doing things. Yeah.
yeah. You're here to be service to the people. Wow. That's
Yeah.
man. Honesty is such a big word, you know. Not so many,
Yes.
especially with this world that we're living in. I find like most people fear losing the clients.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't want to be honest with them. They're like, let me just do the project. Whatever happens, happens. We'll deal with it later on, you know?
Yes, yes,
And they
yes.
cross
And
the
then we'll
bridge.
sell another project and suggest another approach with other buzzwords and sexy PowerPoints. But
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so as someone who has lived in multiple regions and countries, how does cultural difference shape business strategies in different markets?
well, we could make an entire podcast on this topic since it's
Well,
very
actually,
interesting.
that other topic will discuss the difference of not being in Morocco, where you're born, and now working in other regions.
um, so, well, having lived in different countries, I have seen how cultural differences shape the way businesses operate, make decisions, and also approach transformation.
Mm,
Let me explain. Uh, One major impact is on decision making and governance. Okay? In some
mm,
cultures, decision making is highly structured with clear processes and approvals at multiple levels. Okay? And in other places, relationships and informal influence play a much bigger role to get things done. So, when you understand these dynamics, it's essential when leading a transformation project and driving change. So, it's very important to know these nuances. The second one, what I have noticed is actually how organizations approach change um, and transformation. What I mean with that is, in some cultures, businesses will tend to favor rapid experimentation and agility, and for them, failure is part of the learning process. Okay?
mm,
Uh, but in other cultures, countries, or organizations, they will prioritize long term stability and risk mitigation. So this means that all transformation initiatives require a more structured approach. And as a,
So,
yeah,
sorry to cut you short. Maybe which country among those ones do you feel like they are easy when it comes to change?
well, I don't like to answer this question because it's two reasons. The
Mm-hmm.
first reason is it implies putting people in boxes, and I
Okay.
don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
And the second reason, it's because you can be in one specific country, and for one organization, you can have a team that operates following rules and processes, and you can have another team who is more flexible and who tends to give more importance to to informal influence.
Mm. So you don't want to say the third reason is because they will
No.
watch this and they will know which country you're speaking about.
No, because there is always an exception, you know. If I say, oh, in this country they do like this, in this country, like it's uh it reduces the analysis. And
Mm.
yes, putting people in boxes, I don't like that.
Okay. All right. Okay, that makes sense. So, what advice would you give to aspiring consultants or entrepreneurs who want to break into the world of digital transformation and AI consulting?
Okay, one piece of advice, it would be this one. Please don't just focus on the technology. Focus on the people and the business impact you want to create. I see so many professionals got up, get caught up, in mastering the latest tools, the latest frameworks, trying to master the best PowerPoint hacks, sexy presentations. But what really sets apart a great consultant is the ability to translate innovation into real business value. As I said earlier, I always like to say, let's talk in concrete terms and let's cut the buzzwords. Let's keep it simple so that everybody can understand what we are saying. So for companies who are looking to navigate this space effectively, I would recommend them to find the right expertise to work on their different projects depending on the topics. And for professionals who want to grow in these fields, be it AI, customer experience, digital transformation, I recommend them reaching out to professionals they admire or to professionals who are already doing what they are aiming for. So this would be my piece of advice, actually.
Wow. I think you should also give advice to your audience on LinkedIn, because I shared, there's actually two friends of mine, your videos, which for me was they're very eye-opening. But there were
Thank you.
people who they couldn't keep up with the buzzwords. But the
Uh-huh.
voice, they're like, I like the voice, but I'm not understanding the information. So what advice can you give them? Because for me, I was like, okay, this is new information, important information, deep information that people need
Yes.
to listen to. But they were like, yo, we're here for the voice. This voice, it can be used for so many voiceovers that can, sell a lot of products, and um, uh, make people to listen to you more. So what advice can you give to those people who come to your page and listen to you, but they don't get the information because maybe the AI can be so complex to them, but
Yes.
they're like, no, this voice is very intriguing and pulling me to listen more.
This is a good question. What I recommend is technology evolves very fast, okay? Like in 1 month, we saw that we saw major changes in the United States, in France, in Europe, involving countries like India. Like everything is evolving in a high speed, okay? But to be able to understand content, be it written or vocal, audio, it's video, I recommend doing simple research like customer experience for dummies or AI for dummies. Look for the main definitions, the main concepts. For example, if you take AI, you can Google, AI, generative AI, what are the major concepts around AI, machine learning, what is machine learning, how is it used? I work in this field. How can AI, Gen AI help me? So first start asking like basic questions on concepts, okay? Because once you have the definition of these concepts, with time, it will be easier for you and also other people to connect the dots between these concepts.
Sense, because honestly, when me and my colleagues came to, we were like, I will understand, I will get the information, and then my other friend will be like, Ish, there are videos that we're expecting to hear about real estate? Because in our country, as I mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
heights, when you say, actually, there's so many buildings that are called something heights, whatever heights. I think I've ever
Mm.
lived somewhere close to a building called heights. But
Okay.
now, when people listen well, they're like, no, she's actually speaking about AI. But the
Mm.
words that you mentioned, people are like, oh, so what do should I get a notebook? You know, because the voice is really persuasive that you want to
Mm.
listen. Um, you can mention a word that it might spike. I'm like, okay, now I understand this, but I don't understand this. But
Yes.
I think the whole AI terms might be
Yes.
so complex to so many people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good thing you've broken them down here if they
Mm-hmm.
can get the words, like you said, machine learning, and they can search, they can get the whole information of what you
Yes.
speak of.
Yes.
Wow, this is really powerful. This is my starting point of being in AI because
Mm-hmm.
I've said this year I intend to be familiar with three new industries. That is the blockchain industry, Web3 industry,
Mm-hmm.
and now AI,
Metaverse.
because
Yeah.
Bitcoin left me. Uh, I'm not being left by AI again now. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. This is a great place to end it. For everyone who have been listening in, I hope you've learned. Issa has agreed to come to another podcast of ours to discuss why she didn't embrace the change in Morocco. So you guys look out for that. She has already promised. So we're gonna find the best way to convince her to come back again. Thank you so much for Isa for pouring out your knowledge. I believe this will live 50 years from now, and the people who watch 50 years from now, and even those years, they'll be impacted because YouTube is there to stay. So thank you so much. I also want to thank my supporters with this show. Brand Rico More, Brand Allo.co, and also the school that we support in Kenya called Rofina School. So, guys, let's give because we believe giving is receiving. So, up. Let me see you guys again on the next episode, and I believe we'll continue learning till the day we go back to our Mecca. Ciao, ciao.
Bye bye.